I'm Kerry Fink with Helping Seniors of Brevard, and it's time for Helping Seniors Updates. Well, we've reached the end of another week. It's Friday. It's the 22nd of May, and we are in phase one reopening, as where the governor has us on this COVID-19. And so, as you know, with Helping Seniors Updates, we're going every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and kind of checking in around the county to see what's open, what services are available, and what things are good for you to know about as you make your own plan to be safe during this time. So today with me, I'm fortunate to have none other than President and founder of Helping Seniors, Joe Steckler. Hey, Joe, how you feeling?
I'm doing good, Kerry. I've watched this organization grow since 2011, and our country is really in a turmoil now because of this, what they're calling a pandemic. And I think we forget that at times we have to really force ourselves to fight our way through things. Mm-hmm. And life goes on, and our little organization gets calls. Yes. I mean, calls for help. You and I were just talking about a 94-year-old lady that her caregiver had to go into a hospital, and there was nobody to care for her. And over the years, I've had people talk to me about, well, why didn't people plan better? How do you plan for living to be 94, 95, 100, caregivers getting sick? You reach a point, a lot of people, where they simply run out of money. Mm-hmm. And they need help, and we can't. Sometimes we connect them with resources that'll help them pay bills and do things, but mostly it's helping them find a way to get help for their current problem.
Yes.
And without our little organization, it makes it difficult because whether people want to believe it or not, there really isn't anybody else that does this kind of thing. And that's why I would hate to see anything happen to us. And that's why this car raffle is so important. Mm-hmm. And we're getting calls from people. I just saw one this morning on the internet. A guy was asking about when we're going to have the drawing. Well, we had planned to have the drawing on April 25th. But with the crisis starting, we were only able to, it's hard to sell tickets when you close the gate and say, and people don't know when things are going to happen. Like anybody else, if I'm going to, donate for raffle tickets, I'd like to know if there's really going to be a raffle.
Of course.
Well, the best thing I can tell people is that, yes, we will have the raffle, and we are going to raffle off a car. But we want to raffle that car off when the museum is open so people can see the cars, because that was the big selling point for the tickets. And a big selling point is the fact that I don't know how to ask our fellow citizens any harder to help us than I'm doing right now. We need your support. We need for you to buy these tickets and trust us. A lot of people call us and they give me all kinds of information, which indicates to me that they trust me. Mm-hmm. And this whole organization is about trust. Trust in people, trust in God, and just trust in what we can accomplish if we can work together.
Absolutely. And, when I was talking, we did a Helping Seniors update with Kim on Monday, because we wanted to talk a little bit about the kind of calls that she's getting. And the need is great in the county right now, obviously, because, again, as I understood from Kim, unless I misunderstood her about the call, the interesting thing was for this 94-year-old in her particular circumstance, I don't think it was that she couldn't get help or couldn't afford to find help. This was just new. I mean, nobody expected we're going to have COVID-19 and all of a sudden everything that you normally expect, becomes extraordinary. And I think one of the things that Kim has related, like when she talked to this lady, the lady was so relieved to find that there was somebody who would actually treat her like a human being, because so often the reports we get, somebody calls in and said, well, I tried this number, I tried that entity, or I called over here, and they really didn't have time to talk to me or to hear what I'm really trying to accomplish. And that is something that Kim mentioned, that she has always tried to do, is really dig into the problem and see what resources, because a lot of times, and most of the time, it ends up being knowing you and Kim know the right people to call. So you're able to actually move the needle and get something to help folks when they're calling in.
Yeah. I know that we're needed. I had a recent situation where a man that served in Vietnam was shot at in Vietnam, wasn't wounded, but he was sure shot at. Mm-hmm. He comes home from Vietnam, he has his jobs, he does his work, he's able to save some, he has some hard luck, and I've known him for some time, and when that man calls me and you hear a man that served in Vietnam and got shot at and faced the bullets, and when he cries on a telephone to you because he simply has a problem with his car and he does not have the money to fix a potential problem. Well, we've got it resolved and he's helped himself. And I think a lot of what we did was just talk to him and encourage him to help him solve his problem. And he did. Mm-hmm. And he's going to let me know if he got it solved. I pray to God that he did, because it's going to cost a lot of money if it's the wrong thing. But it just happens a car that the man has owned from it's been being brand new, and he's driven that car for many years and babied it, taking care of it, and he's followed all the rules. And but those are examples, Kerry, of the type of calls we get, and sometimes it's just listening. And I think of a priest in confession when he in the sacrament and he listens to the problems that the people have. I feel like I'm a priest on the telephone sometimes, listening to the problems that people have, but it's a problem I can share with others. It's not one I can't share, but I still have to be careful about what I say, because people place their trust in us. And that's why you and I do these updates.
Yes.
So people know how much we need their help. Because, when the pandemic started, people stopped buying tickets. Mm-hmm. And the ticket sales just dropped. Mm-hmm. Well, we can't pay bills like any other organization unless our supporters help us. Mm-hmm. And that's a big thing about a nonprofit. It's hard. It's not easy. And I think the story needs to be told more often about what nonprofits can do to help people. I think of our sharing centers where we have the food banks and the St. Vincent de Paul Society that the Catholic churches have that collect food to feed people. And when you see somebody walk out of there with a bag full of groceries in their arms and a smile on their face, you know that they appreciate what we have done for them. I'm not talking about just us. I'm talking about anybody that contributes food or finances or anything like that. It's a sign that you want to help people. And I think American people, sometimes we forget that.
Well, one of the things that was interesting is the debate now is how fast to open up the country, because on the one hand, everybody wants to, quote, slow the spread of this COVID-19, but you have a lot of medical professionals. And it was interesting. We did a Helping Seniors update with Dr. Lee Sheldon here last week, and he was talking about, he was one of the medical professionals who said, we live in a county where we were blessed to not have a real problem with this COVID-19, relatively speaking. I mean, it's like 340 cases total out of 600, 700, 800,000 people living in the county. And so his argument was, we're causing more damage sometimes because we should be able to open up and do that safely. And of course, that's what he's doing in his practice. But the point is that there is so much challenge for people who are having problems with COVID who have no COVID. It's just because the resources and the things that they're used to accessing may not be easy to get to. Kim was reporting, for example, she has seniors who are becoming very distressed, not because they can't eat, but because they haven't been able to get out and food for their pets. And so she's found a number of resources that are providing basically food banks for pets. And it might sound silly, but the mental health of people going through this is just as important. So when you talk about the value of somebody being able to call the Helping Seniors helpline and find an empathetic voice who has expertise on maybe another step to try, that, as MasterCard would say, is priceless.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people ask me, say, well, they find out I served in the Navy and my primary service was in submarines. They say, well, how can you stand being submerged in a submarine? And then what was the longest you were submerged? Well, 62 days.
Wow.
But compare that to the thousands and thousands of people that we have are almost shut in their homes, are afraid to go out. I've got a neighbor that is terrified of going outside or having anybody come into her house. It's to the point where they have the food delivered. And, you know, how soon is all this going to change? When are we going to get back to what we were? I look at the stock market, it's going up. President Trump took the stock market way up. And I give him credit for a lot of what he does. I don't like some of the things he does, but some of the things are very, very good for people. And he's helped our wealth grow. And people tend to forget that. But we're starting to get back to normal, and we will get back to normal. What we have to do is get back to normal and put this behind us.
Yes. Well, I agree, because I think one of the things, we're in phase one reopening, and we were talking about that on Helping Seniors Updates. And by the way, all of these Helping Seniors Updates, they're archived. You can go to our website at helpingseniors.brevard.org, helpingseniors.brevard.org, and you'll find not only all these updates, but you'll find all of the television shows, the radio shows, all of Joe's articles. You'll see the Helping Seniors newsletters. I mean, you can go back years on all of that if you'd like and you have the time. But the key thing is, we were talking about in the updates that we're in phase one reopening right now, and we're looking towards phase two. And even in phase one, the governor has asked the theme parks and such to put opening dates for and a plan together and submit it. And I just saw one, for example, Kennedy Space Center right here in our own county is opening up here at the end of the month. Now, they're taking some unusual and extraordinary precautions, of course, limiting the number of guests and putting social distancing in place and making sure people aren't sick when they enter the park and doing those things. But it's clear we're on the path to getting things back a little bit more towards where we're used to them being.
I bet I know something you don't know.
Okay.
I'm on the front page of Hometown News with my weekly article this time. So I finally made the front page of the paper. Wonderful. With my column on seniors.
That's wonderful. That's the one coming out today, Friday.
Well, it is, Kerry. It's important because, you know, I'm a senior, and I understand, and I have the same aches and pains a lot of seniors have. And right now, my current problem are knees. And I got one that clicks all the time when I stand on it or try to walk, or collapses. And the other one's bending in, and I'm trying to get knee replacements. But I got to solve my other health problems. But I'm just like a lot of seniors. And but I'm different because I have a guy like you I can talk to, or I have an organization. But I don't. No, yes, I do need the organization. I do. I'm like everybody else. Because my help and my work with seniors through the organization gives me something to do. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that, We had an old saying in the Navy, it's train, center line, and secure. That means you put the guns on the center line axis of the ship and shut them down, and you look for a rest period, not fire them. Mm-hmm. But we can't train, center line, and secure because we're people, and we grow, we do things differently, and that's why if a person's got a problem, just give us a call at 321-473-7770. Talk to Kim.
Yes.
Ask her a question. If she doesn't know the answer, she'll call me. And she calls me, and if I don't know the answer, we will find somebody that does have the answer that the person seeks. It may not always be the one they want, but at least we'll try. And I think that's one of the big important things about the organization is that it tries to help people.
Joe, we've helped more than 3,000 families free of charge. And I think that is a pretty important testimony. And as Kim will tell you, and you know yourself from having been on the phone on many of these cases, is that it's not just here's a number, call them, and I hope it works out. We check back, we make sure that the route or the path that we've suggested is actually making a difference. And if not, we'll keep working. And so I always call ourselves the little engine that could. Somehow this organization keeps helping people, even though it's a small organization. It's a feisty organization. It knows where to go and connect people up to resources that will make a difference for them.
Yeah. The problems in Brevard County, Florida, are the same problems that we have in 366 other counties in the United States of America. And the organizations may have different names, but they're all there to serve people. I remember I was the financial guy for the National Federation of Interfaith Caregivers, and we had 2,000 plus organizations across the United States. The organization is gone now, and the reason it went away is because they did not have a good financial underpinning. They were dependent on the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation for their sources of funds. They didn't develop any money themselves. And I told them, if you don't do this, you're liable to fail. And we did. It wasn't needed. The organizations, many of them still exist. And a couple exist still here in Brevard County, Florida. But it's knowing what is available, and that's why Helping Seniors was started to inform, educate, and connect people that needed help with services. And we will continue to do that, and we will do it with your help. And I ask you to consider a donation for those raffle tickets. You can call that 473-7770, or what is it? HelpingSeniorsCarRaffle.com.
That's right. HelpingSeniorsCarRaffle.com, and get your tickets there too.
We still have people, Kerry, that are buying tickets, and they're banking on the fact that we will have the raffle.
We will.
And as soon as we can get the date, we'll tell people. And we just ask you to stay tuned with our updates, and we'll give you the facts and we'll give you the answers.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks, Joe, for being on Helping Seniors Updates today. And as Joe said, he said it exactly right. You can go to Helping Seniors Updates, and we pledge every Monday, Wednesday, Friday that we're updating you on everything that we know that's going on around the area. If you know of something that we should be covering, of course, give Kim a call, and we'll make sure we take a good look into it. It's interesting. It's really networking, because we don't have all the answers, but oftentimes in the process of seeking answers, we find new avenues and new connections as well. So Helping Seniors Updates is important. The Helping Seniors Car Raffle.com is not only important, but it's a lot of fun. 1 ticket for $25, 5 for $100, and yes, the car raffle giveaway date is coming soon. So with that, hope you have a wonderful, safe, and enjoyable weekend. I'm Kerry Fink. Thanks for joining us on Helping Seniors Updates.